Good morning, students. I am T. Dube. I am beginning a writing course for students of standard 9 and 10. I would advise you to join me for scoring high marks both in your school examinations as well as in the final. Let me tell you something about the course first. It will be a 30 hours course. This writing course will be a 30 hours course beginning from September 7, that means this month, to October 15. Now, what will I do in these 30 hours? That means in this course, your entire syllabus will be covered. That means all literature chapters, then all grammar topics, then all writing topics, plus 10 reading comprehensions. So this will be the package that you will be given in this course. How can you train the class? Means what will be the modes of conducting the class? The class will be conducted both in offline mode and online mode. For offline mode, the address is there on the screen. And for online, you can join the class through Zoom, whose ID is 911-789-9094. This is also shared on the screen. You can note it down. And password is 12345. Days and time. The class will be for both offline and online modes. The classes will be conducted on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And timing of the class will be 5 to 6 for offline mode. And for online students, it will be from 6 to 7 evening. Now, what will be the course fee for this class? The course fee for this class is 5,000 rupees. But if you join this course before 7 September, you will be given a rebate of 50%. That means you have to pay only 2,500 rupees for this course. Now, what about demo? Why should you join the class or why should you not join the class? Let me tell you. Before 7 September, as I told you, if you are joining the class, you will be paying only 2,500 rupees. But before that, before you join the class, I am posting some video lectures on literature chapters, on grammar, on writing topics, and I would advise you to go through my lectures. Go through those video lectures, and after watching them, if you feel that you are going to be hugely benefited from these classes, only then join. Otherwise, it will be repentance plus a wastage of time, and I would not like you to waste your time here in my class. Now, let me tell you briefly what I am going to, how you are going to be trained for a higher percentage of marks. See, in this video, I will be talking about two things in each of the videos that I will be posting. Number one, the first will be how to write your exam perfect answers. One, my main focus will be on that part. And number two, how to study your literature chapters for maximum understanding. Let me discuss both the points first. When we are talking about how to write exam perfect answer, then there are 3-4 qualities. Even if you do not join me and you keep these 4 qualities in your answers, then you will see your improvement in hardly a matter of say 15 to 20 days. You note down these points and then you work on them. First, remember, when you are going to write your answer, it will be going to the examiner, or you can say evaluator. So your answers are the medium between you and the evaluator. That means the evaluator does not know you. Keep it in mind. Your evaluator does not know you. He will be knowing you only through your answers. So what are the qualities of exam perfect answer? Point number one. It should be written only in keywords. Means your answers should not be written using a lot of words but with no substance. Means by using the main points taken from the original text. So that should be quality number 1. Quality number 2. The keywords must be organized as per the sequence of events progressing in the story. I repeat this point. The key points that you will be including in your answer should be as per the sequence of events. I am talking about literature questions. As per the sequence of events progressing in the story. That is called organization of ideas or thoughts. Point number 3. There should be these points. There should be some points. What I mean to say, there should be some sentences or some points in your answer that should show your critical thinking, or you can say analytical skill. So simply writing the points as written in the story is not enough. You will have to show some understanding, some critical thinking that I'll be training in the course. And finally, most important, your answers must be free from any spelling or grammatical errors. These are the 4 qualities that I'll be training you in the paid course. Now, let me begin today's class. Now, I am going to begin today's class. I am going to begin the first chapter from your first flight book. That is a letter to God written by G.L. Fuentes. But before I begin the class, I would like to give you some tips, how you should study each literature chapter. You better note down these points if you like to. And if you work according to the guidelines that I am providing you, just notice your improvement in 15 days to 20 days. But of course, half an hour writing practice is mandatory for you. I repeat this line. Half an hour writing practice is mandatory for you. Only then you can see whether you are improving or not improving. Now let me begin these 3-4 tips for studying literature chapters. Number 1, a literature chapter, whether it is a story or a poem, should be studied in three ways. Means you should apply 3 steps. Number 1, and I am going to show you also how you should do. First of all, the original text must be read thoroughly. Underline this point in your mind. The original text, not some sample paper, or you can say some market material. The original text must be read thoroughly, completely, underlining all the key points, included in that chapter. Why I am focusing on original text? Because if those key points are rewritten or simplified, it is possible that the evaluator may not give you that much weightage. So please focus on original text. Number 2, the key points that are collected from the chapter, that you underline, that you collect from the chapter, must be analyzed. Remember, in my introductory part, I told you that only jotting down the points is not enough. You have to show your understanding, your explanation. And then you must have, means when you are studying a literature chapter, a comprehensive summary of sequence of events. That means when you are studying, say, if you are studying a letter to God, for example. So what is happening at the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, and what is happening at the end of the story. So the entire sequence of events must be in your mind so that you can visualize the text. So if any question comes from any paragraph, any part of the story, it will be easier for you to note down, to include those points. In my video lectures, I am presenting these 3 steps, showing you that even if you are not joining, how you should study at your home. And as I say, only 15 to 20 days, but in discipline. In discipline. In discipline. I will repeat this word. In discipline. Means not casually. So I am presenting all these steps. You do your own work and you will notice wonderful results in a matter of 15 to 20 days. Right. So let me take you to today's class. A letter to God, studying in 3 steps. First, original text, then underlining the key points, analyzing those key points, and then maintaining a comprehensive summary of all the sequence of events. So these are the 3 steps. 15 days study, wonderful results, unbelievable result. Let me show you. So let's begin. Now take your book in your hand as I have taken. This book is, you can say, in a very tattered condition, pathetic condition. The cover page is coming out, and so far as the spine is concerned, the spine of this book is concerned, it is damaged, broken. So it speaks about my condition, how poor I am. I cannot afford to have a good book also, and that also in such an important class called YouTube class. Right. Anyway, so if you run your hand on my back, you will find that I do not have the spine. No, not figuratively, not in a metaphoric sense. If you say I do not have a spine, that means I do not have courage. I have. That I have. But it shows the condition that I am in. Fine. Jokes apart, and we will be, as I told you, I will not be boring you. I will not be making you dull. You will enjoy this class. And as I have promised, a matter of 15 days. So open your book. Better, because usually what happens, YouTube classes are such classes that students watch like video whenever they like. I do not want you to watch. I want you to do it with me, so that you can feel that you are in a, you are in offline class. You should not get the feel of video classes, right? So let's begin. So you look at the first, if you open the first paragraph, you have to write down something extra. You find the story is beginning with the description of the scene of a valley. This is the opening. Make a mental picture that there is a valley, and in that valley there is a small heighted hill. Make a mental picture. A small heighted hill. In the first paragraph, Phuvanti Sahab has written that the house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. So the word crest means top, on the top of a low heighted hill. Remember, understanding means understanding it thoroughly. So I am going to show you a picture of this story, and you will, even if I continue teaching you for 2 hours, I bet you will not feel bored. Challenge. Anyway, let's begin. So take a pencil and note down the first key point. The first key point is that house part. The second line of the first paragraph says that from this height one could see the river and the field of ripe corn. Remember, this is the main point. So if you stand, I am giving you the analysis also. If you stand at the top of the hill, you can see that there is a river. This is not very important. Important point is this: the field of ripe corn. The field of ripe corn. And this field of ripe corn is dotted with the flowers. Underline this part. dotted. This is very, very important point. Very, very important point. So the field of the ripe corn is dotted with the flowers. Suppose you better keep the sample question paper issued by CBSE so that you can understand that you can score 100% marks in a matter of say 15 to 20 days in my class. So suppose in objective question or reference to text question, someone sets the question, what do you mean by the word dotted? So generally what happens, the sample papers will give you dotted means sprayed or sprinkled. So you cannot understand the meaning. So you have to make a mental picture. Here dotted means sprayed across. That means the flowers are sprayed across the field. Remember point number 1. Flowers are sprayed, or another word you can use sprinkled, or another word you can scattered. So the flowers are scattered all across the field. Then connect the next key point. Right? The flowers that always promised a good harvest. Memorize this phrase. That always promised a good harvest. What does this phrase mean? That always promised a good harvest? It means the flowers scattered across the field are indicating that the farmer is going to have a successful, or you can say a bountiful harvest. This is the meaning of that phrase. So I am asking you a question here. Try to answer it in simple words. What does the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers indicate or suggest? Remember, the next key point is the answer. But there is a problem. There is a problem. This field cannot produce a bumper harvest or a successful harvest. Why? Because the field needs a downpour. The word downpour means heavy rain, or a shower. A shower means light rain. So the writer says that any amount of rain, even a heavy rain or a shower, light rain, can give moisture to the field. The last part of this paragraph is introducing the character. What is farmer doing? Lencho, who knows his fields intimately, very well. A farmer knows his field intimately, very well. Has done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. So what is the farmer doing? The farmer hasn't done anything except one. Looking up towards the sky in the northeast. Right. Now, make a mental picture that the central character of this story, Lencho, is spending his entire morning looking up towards the northeast. Now, so why is he looking up towards the northeast? Why is he looking up towards the sky? Think. I am giving you time to think. Think. Make a guess. Why is he looking up? Looking up towards the sky in the northeast. Remember the earlier points. Now I am not going to read the entire paragraph, coming second paragraph, but one line of course. So now he enters his house and makes a sentence and speaks to his wife. What does he say? That line is very important. You underline it. The second line, the first line of the second paragraph. He says to his wife, now you are really going to get some water, women. So what does this statement show? This question is coming in your board exam. When he is saying to his wife, we are really going to get some water, women, what is his mood like? This question is coming. Answer can be one of the three words that I am telling you. He is expecting rain. He's hoping for rain. He's anticipating rain. Mixed with excitement, the kind of way, means the way he is speaking to his wife shows two things: his excitement and his anticipation, his hope, his prediction that rain will come. Now let us carry forward this keyword with another keyword. What is his wife's reaction? His wife says, yes, God willing. What does this line mean? Yes, God willing. It means her wife is also strong or firm believer in God. If this question comes, it should be given like this. If she says that if yes, God willing, so this key point can be analyzed in a number of ways. First of all, she also believes that yes, there is a higher power, there is Almighty. Rain is in his hand. So again, this is a reference to God. So we can say how not only Lencho is a strong believer in God, but also his family. Now I am taking you to, and remember, I am not going to read line by line. I am keeping your mind only on the key points. And if any question comes, just keep this video with you and solve any question, whether that question is given in a sample paper or it is being asked in any examination conducted by your school or mock test or the final board examination. So my video is a proof what you can do in 20 days under me, right? And as I said, it doesn't matter whether you are coming offline or online. Rather, I would prefer you to join me online. Why? See, this is the ChatGPT age and technology is going to be master. So I would advise you to be handy with technology. Learn to handle technology. As an old man like me, you can see, as an old man like me is now making YouTube videos. I had never thought that I will have to make videos on YouTube, but I am doing, so should you. Okay, so let us move to the next part. So what happens during the mealtime? Now, let me take you to the next scene. This is the scene of dinner. Lencho, his wife, his children are ready to take their dinner. And this time, as they are going to take their dinner, you can make a mental picture. So as Lencho had predicted, as we have seen in my earlier explanation, that as Lencho had predicted, as he had anticipated that there would be rain, this time when his family members and he are taking meal, then rain begins. Connect it with his mood, change in mood. So what does underline? Take a pencil and underline the next keywords. So rain begins and the pitter-patter sound, drops of rain start falling. Then this man cannot contain his happiness. So if you have to explain his mood, his mind, if you have to describe his, what thoughts are going on his mind, what words can be used? Elation, great happiness, excitement, pleasure. Let me analyze. Underline these lines. Starting from here, the man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of rain, than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. Remember, he is welcoming the drops of rain on his body. You can make a mental picture that some drops are falling on his face, some are falling on his hands. So you can feel the excitement. And then, receiving the drops of rain on his body, he comes inside. And then his mind is, he is not on ground. His feet are not on ground. They are on cloud 9. They are on cloud 9. There is no bound of his happiness. So like a childlike simplicity, he shows the spots of water where the drops of rain have fallen. This is again very, very important. Underline them. What does he say? So showing the wet spots on his body to his wife, he says, these aren't raindrops. These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. Very, very important. Very, very important. They are new coins. You see, these big drops. These big drops. Big 10-cent pieces. And you see, little ones here. These are 5-cent pieces. Now, this is showing his mood, his excitement. Only a farmer can feel the pleasure of rain. You can see the previous year questions. About 7 to 8 times the question has been asked from here. The question has been asked based on this. So why is he comparing the drops of rain to new coins? Why is he comparing the raindrops to new coins? 3-4 explanations can be given. Number 1, he's a nature lover. I will give you this analysis also. Just after the chapter, I will give you the PDF also, how I have analyzed this chapter. And I assure you, no question will be from outside. No question will be. You just keep this video, take any sample paper, underline, write the answer, show it to any teacher. Show it to any teacher. Only you need to be trained how to write the exam perfect answers, nothing else. Now let's go ahead into the story. Then what happens? Rain comes, rain goes. Then what is farmer's mood like? What is farmer's mood like? Imagine that you are the farmer, you are Lencho, and you have been waiting for rain because your fields, remember, badly need it, and rain has come. 3-4 words. Remember these 4-5 words. Contentment is first word. Satisfaction, second word. Happiness, third word. So now because your field badly needs water and it has got now, obviously you are satisfied. So when rain stopped, farmer Lencho stands at the border of his field and regarding word means observing. He is observing his field. So he is looking at the base of his field. Next paragraph, beautiful paragraph, means a fantastic story, simply fantastic, if it is presented in that way, if it is presented in that way. So with a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers. And as you know, it was covered in a curtain of rain, a draped of rain, draped in a curtain of rain. But again, I am using a phrase, uncertainty of weather, monsoon, vagary of rain. Uncertainty means these things are uncertain. So till here, keep a track of his mind, keep a track of his moods, and then what is happening? There is sudden change in weather, and this rain changes into hailstones. Hailstorms. Better word is, first of all, hailstorms. So this rain changes into hailstorm, and then big balls of ice. Hailstones. They are called hailstones. So big balls of ice start raining from the sky. So because it is falling from the sky with heavy weight and motion, and they start battering the standing crops, standing tree crops. And for 1 hour, those silver balls of ice keep beating the earth, the valley, the roof, the hill, and his field. So this question can also come, but it is not as important as others. Now the next is very, very important. Change in mood. Always remember, question setter set questions on feelings, emotions, reactions, human nature, human behavior, how people are behaving. A fantastic story it is. A fantastic story. So now, from beginning, paragraph number 1, he is hopeful of rain. When he is saying to his wife, we are really going to get some water, women. Rain comes, his mood changes. Then what happens? Rain changes into hailstorm, and then stones of ice begin falling. So seeing the balls of ice falling from the sky, what will happen to the farmer's mood? Remember, just before this, he was mighty satisfied. He was content. With a satisfied expression, he was watching his field. But now what is happening? His heart is sinking. And seeing the falling balls of ice, he says, it's really getting bad now. It's really getting bad now. You know. And then it changes into worry. I hope it passes quickly. But it does not pass quickly. It does not pass quickly. And in 1 hour, at the end of that hour, those standing crops, those flower-bearing crops, those crops that were dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest, giving hope and aspiration to the farmer that he could be rich and prosperous, is now completely dashed. And then this image tells the entire story. On page number 4, this image. If you analyze this image now, you can understand the entire feeling of the farmer. Entire feeling. See, look at his face. The face is narrating a story of sorrow, sadness. You look at, the gestures of his hands as if he is talking to God. Oh God, what happened? You have stolen the food from my mouth. You have taken away the corn from our hands. You have darkened our future. What is my fault? So the line, underline that line, he stands in the middle of the field, as you can see here, can see here, he is standing in the middle of his field. You open your book and analyze this picture. And this line underline, a plague of locusts would have left more than this. So this line, if a question comes, what does this line mean? So it emphasizes complete destruction. Total, I am using a standard word, total annihilation. It had just destroyed everything completely. No flower, no leaf, no fruit is left on the tree. So it shows total destruction. Total destruction. Now, the story takes a turn. Think that you are that farmer and you see the destruction of your crops in front of your eyes. The flowers that were promising wealth, the flowers that were promising prosperity, the flowers that were promising good future are gone now. So that night, it was a very sorrowful, sad night for the entire family. And Lencho was saying to his wife and children, all our work for nothing. And there is no one who can help us. There is no one who can help us. You, he says to his wife, you, children, I will all go hungry this year. We will go hungry this year. So this is section 1 of the story. Then what happens? It is said that for those there is no one, there is that, the sky holder, the Almighty, the one who is sitting on the top of heaven. He sees everything. It's true. I also believe. The next section of the story strengthens his faith in God. It strengthens his faith in God. So he says, Lencho says to his family, don't be upset. Even though this seems like a total loss, remember, no one dies of hunger. No one dies of hunger. So, here comes the childhood upbringing of Lencho. Again, let me take your mind beyond the text. So, if this question comes, what training had been given to Lencho when he was a child? This is going beyond text. Reference. This is reference. So, as a child, he had been trained that God sees everything. His eyes see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. So, it shows his firm, F-I-R-M, firm, unwavering, unshakable, deep faith in God, that even if my crops are destroyed, there is that, the Almighty, the omnipresent, the all-knowing, He is there. Then you know it very well. He takes a sheet of paper and a pen. I have not taken a pen so that I couldn't show the acting, but I think my words are enough to, make you feel, give you the feeling. And please narrate this story in the way I am presenting. Don't make it boring. I don't like. So he writes letter to God. and he puts his heart out. What has happened to him? What has happened to his crops? So he says, God, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry. Because my crops are destroyed. So I need 100 pesos. I need 100 pesos so that I can feed my family and sow my crops next session. Now again, a question can come. Why did he demand only 100 pesos? It shows his honesty. He was not a greedy farmer. He was an honest, simple, God-fearing farmer. So there was no greed for more money. That's why. Writes a letter, and then let us see the scene of the post office. So you know it very well. After writing the letter, he goes to town, drops the letter in the mailbox, and the letter falls in the postman's hand. Now let us analyze the postman's reaction. Postman's reaction. When postman looks at the letter addressed to God, remember this question can come, to God. So when the postman finds the address written to God, he begins laughing. Why? Because never in his life had he seen this address. So this becomes amusement, and laughing, he takes the letter to the postmaster and shows the letter to the postmaster. The postmaster also joins him in laughing, but immediately there is a change in his mood, the postmaster's mood. He becomes serious and underline this line. What faith! What faith! I wish, the postmaster says, I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. Starting up a correspondence with God. So he appreciates farmer's faith in God. Now, a question often comes, why did he decide to reply farmer's letter? Next keyword is, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God. Underline it, underline it, underline it. So why did the postmaster decide to reply? Because he did not want that the farmer's faith in God should be shaken. This point is coming. Then, I am not discussing how he managed the money. That is less important, but you can understand. He could not manage 100 pesos. What steps he took? He asked his employees to contribute. He asked his friends and acquaintances to contribute, and he himself gave a part of his salary. So these are the steps that he took. As an act of charity, here this point is important, underline it. As an act of charity. So they think that they are donating because they are doing some noble deed. They are doing some charity work. They are donating. Now, the farmer's reaction when he, now again there is one later, that word, why did he sign God? Why did Now, can you answer the question that I am going to ask you? Why does the postmaster sign the letter as God and not as the postmaster? I'm giving you some hint. Keep it in mind that this letter has been written by Lencho, not to the postmaster, but to God. So if you think about these points, you can easily answer this question. And 1-2 more suggestions. Remember, students, even if you know the answer, your problem will be creating sentences. That is a fundamental problem faced by all students. So please make a habit of writing. Now let us take the story ahead. What happens in the story? So the following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. And it was the postman himself who is going to deliver the letter. And the postmaster thinks that he has done a great work because he has collected the money and put it in the envelope, so he would be happy. So experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good job, a charitable work, the postmaster stands in the office and tries to read the facial expression that will come on Lencho on receiving the money. So when Lencho opens the letter and finds money inside it, this is again very, very important, underline it. He shows not the slightest surprise on his face on seeing the money. That great was faith in God. But when he counts the money, he becomes angry. Why? Why does he become angry? Because there are only 70 pesos in the letter, and he had demanded 100 pesos. And what he thinks, that God could not have made this mistake, means God could not have sent Lencho only 70 pesos, nor could he have denied what Lencho had requested. So this needle of suspicion now starts moving on to the post office employees. So immediately he went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. And on the public writing table, there was a table in front of the post office, and he started writing another letter. When he was writing, there was much wrinkling. There was when there are formation of lines on forehead and on face, these are called wrinklings. So with great difficulty, he was expressing his thought. And when he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked with his tongue and then, fixed it by using his hand and then dropped the letter. The postmaster was waiting for this letter, and as soon as it was dropped, the moment the letter left into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. And what was the letter saying? Lencho had written, this is the second letter. God, of the money that I had asked you, only 70 pesos reached me. Underline this entire letter part. Send me the next. That means the requested amount of money, 30 more pesos. But do not send this money through the mail. Why? Because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. What does this phrase mean? The post office employees are a bunch of crooks, means these is the group of people who has stolen the remaining 30 pesos from my letter. So he calls them a group of thugs, a group of thieves, a group of corrupt people. So the same sentence is showing two faiths. One, mountain-like faith in God, and two, skeptic or suspicious about the nature of the post office employees. This is irony. And irony is the opposite thought that happens. So towards the end of the story, we must have thought that he would be appreciating the efforts taken by the postmaster. But opposite to this, he calls them a bunch of crooks, a group of thugs, a group of people who have stolen his 30 pesos from the letter. So this is this story. You keep this video, note down all the important keywords that I have discussed, and then you answer any question from previous year, from a sample paper, from anywhere. I assure you cannot lose even 1 mark when you write it properly. Now, I have made a collection of all the keywords from this chapter. All the keywords have been collected at one place. And then I have also prepared summary of all the important events. If you want a PDF of those keywords which will be asked in your examination, you can request me. Or if you can manage from this video lecture, that will be also good. But if you want what questions are coming, what are the guest questions, what are the keywords that will be asked in any examination, I will be providing you. For that, you don't have to pay any money. So if you want analysis of all the key points, of all the keywords from this chapter, you can text me. For that, you don't have to pay anything. But it will be sent only on your request. Otherwise, it so happens that if it is sent to the students without request, it is not valued. And it takes a lot of time, great effort in creating keywords, analyzing them, and if it is not valued, they're not good. So keywords will be supplied only on your request. And if you feel that this video is really helpful to you, then do not forget one thing. What all YouTubers ask, I am also trying to be one of them. I don't know whether I am successful in doing or not, but your comments, good or bad, okay. Some of you may not like me, so that will also be okay, accepted. I'm a very big-hearted teacher. So that also, ready for that. So see you in the next video, posting it soon. And finally, join the writing course. You will be hugely benefited in 1 month.